I'm currently on a small, snowy, deserted island. Then every day the border around me will expand, revealing new custom winter islands to explore, including structures on them, and my goal is to survive here for 100 days. But as always, if I go outside the border now, I'll start taking damage, so I'll back up as fast as possible. So I started by gathering wood, got 7 logs, and made a crafting table and some basic tools in it. Next I saw this. From what I can see, there's a huge castle here that will probably unlock for us soon. I was really happy about that and went to crafting to make a door, then swam down to place it. And I mined my first cobblestone. I mined 18 in total and swam back up to make stone tools. I also noticed a ship that was still outside the border, so in the meantime I decided to get some food. I saw some fish and started killing them, and the border was hitting me, but I got 3 fish. I also started gathering a lot of seaweed because it can be smelted. In the end, I managed to gather a few stacks of kelp, then I saw a slime, killed it and finished gathering the seaweed. Then I went back up and crafted some furnaces. I put the fish in there to cook and started breaking leaves, hoping for a sapling, which I managed to get, and a second one dropped shortly after, so I finished the leaves. I gathered some dirt from under the snow and planted the saplings. Next, I took out 2 fish, smelted the third one and ate one of them. Night was slowly approaching, so I decided to keep gathering seaweed and seaweed and seaweed. And after a while, mobs started spawning here on the border. Hey, okay, I didn't expect that, and the zombie has an iron sword. I also defeated a creeper and a zombie and got 2 rotten flesh. More mobs started appearing, and I defeated a few of them. But after a while, I ate the last fish and there were so many mobs that I decided to dig down, but I fell into the water. So I swam up and went to my mini cave and walled myself in. Okay, I managed to hide and I think we'll just wait out the night here. That's exactly what I did. And when day came, I dug my way out and swam to my island, but there were tons of mobs. But best of all, the border expanded. However, the ship was still outside the border, so I quickly went to smelt some seaweed to eat and then I started killing mobs. In the end, I cleared everything on top, and even the skeletons weren't drowning, so I swam up quickly to smelt kelp and eat it. And so I killed the skeletons for bones. I turned the bones into bone meal and used it on a sapling, then chopped down the tree and used the wood to cook food. Then another tree and another, and it even started snowing, which added to the atmosphere. I finally ate, and then I mined some cobblestone, which I used for 2 new furnaces. I put wood and seaweed in to smelt, and in the meantime I killed an enderman and got a pearl from it. Then I crafted a chest, put a few items in it, and planted more trees. I took the smelted kelp and coal and crafted torches, which I placed around the island. Next, I waited for day and the border expanded even more. The ship unlocked for me, so I immediately swam to it and noticed, yo, from what I can see, there's another island over there. However, it was still outside the border, so I dug to the chest in the ship and took the loot from it. I also dug up the whole chest and then the wood at the top, which I used for crafting and better iron tools. Next, I took the second chest and returned to my base. I added 2 chests and threw some kelp into smelt. The trees I planted didn't grow, so I decided to go to the ship to collect a bunch of different wooden blocks, which will be useful for smelting the seaweed. That's how I used up my whole axe and returned to the island. I took all the smelted kelp and crafted a shield and a stone axe. Finally, I gathered the trees from the island and waited while smelting seaweed, and the next day the border expanded and I collected all the kelp from the furnace. I put some of it in a chest and set off for the island with the castle. Next, I built up to it and started running around, but I reached the border and decided to dig into the castle. I noticed right away. But here we have some first chests, so we'll take it, and we have iron and we have a diamond and we have a sword actually, so cool. I ran to the other side where I gathered some berries. And we also have another chest. We have another 2 diamonds, some iron, and well, a saddle, so that's pretty cool. And here we have another chest that I didn't notice. We have netherite. Okay. This is mega good loot. I started looking around more closely, but I didn't see anything, so I decided to build up where I collected another chest, and on the other side there was one more. Finally, I went down and dug my way out of the castle, and it was even night already, which caused mobs to spawn, but I jumped into the water and crafted a boat, which I used to sail to my starting island. I put away the collected items, and now I wanted to work on the first house, and an igloo will fit perfectly here. So first I gathered snowballs from the island, and then I made even more shovels, with which I went to the castle island. Of course, I built up again and started gathering and gathering and gathering snow, which I turned into blocks needed to build the igloo, and when I had a few stacks of them, I returned to my island. At first, I worked on the outline of my igloo and then I added the walls and the ceiling and it was ready. Next, I moved the chest and added 2 furnaces and 2 crafting tables and made 2 more chests where I put the food. So I moved the next one and went back to the neighboring island for wood. I entered the castle, which I started breaking down to get a total stack of wood blocks. Later I returned to my island, but I met uninvited guests in my igloo, so I killed a zombie and then an enderman, which got me a second pearl. I crafted more chests and added them here and finally sorted the items until it was ready. In addition, I wanted to build a room for souvenirs from each island, which will be later in this video. So I dug down and started placing snow blocks like this. Later I crafted a set and tools, and by the way I walled off the water until I reached the very bottom, where I replaced the blocks with snow, and when I was coming back up, a skeleton killed a creeper, which got me a disc. I finished off the skeleton and then the mobs at the very top and decided to craft torches, which I added in my igloo and then on the stairs so that mobs wouldn't spawn here. However, at the very bottom there were a ton of mobs which I finally managed to kill off. After that, all I had left was to finish this room, so I kept digging and replaced the blocks with snow, and on the floor I used wood and added torches. And soon we'll decorate this room more, so for now it looks terrible, but it's actually the theme of all these islands. Well, anyway, it's time to discover the next island. So I immediately ran upstairs and sailed out in my boat, and after a while I discovered this. It's a huge wolf head. It was a wolf island where I arrived and built my way up. And look how many doggies are here. What's going on? So many pups. And there's literally a ton, just a ton. Wow, just look at that. Okay, I definitely want to tame at least a few of these creatures, so we'll take you. And please, come on, you're incredibly hard to tame. Yes, okay, on the 10th bone, so super late. You on the 1st? Yo, okay, and now the 3rd doggy. However, I couldn't tame the 4th one, but there were a ton of bones lying here, which I used to keep taming the pups. Plus, there was leather on the tents, which I collected, and I even took 3 wool to craft a bed. More leather, and I took the anvils from the tent. Then I gathered the rest of the leather and saw the border, and even the doggies pounced on a fox. I gathered some berries, leather, and item frames, which will also come in handy. I took the campfire, more leather, and more leather. I liked the big wolf head the most, but after looting the whole island, I went back to the hut. As soon as I reached the island, my pups teleported to me. I crafted the rest of the leather set and went down to add the item frames and then went back up. As for the first island, since there was a castle there, I always associate the castle with some gold, so maybe I'd craft a gold block and add it downstairs. And as for the Wolf Island, I'm short on bones, so we have to sail there now, and I hope there'll be some bones on the ground. So I sailed to the Wolf Island and started looking for bones. And look at all these mobs, okay, and they just pounced on a skeleton so perfect because I'll get bones from it which didn't drop, but luckily some are lying here, okay? I'm gonna die, okay, I'm out of here. So I immediately jumped into the water and sailed to my island. When I arrived, I went down to put away the gold from the Castle Island and the bone from the Wolf Island. I set off on another expedition in search of new islands. Ooh, okay, I see something new. And what is this? It looks like a regular island, but we have an igloo, so it's an igloo island. Yo, it actually looks just like my starting island, only 20 times bigger. Look at all the animals here. As soon as I built my way up, it turned out to be an animal island. I started looking around and saw the border, then I went into the igloo and started looking for an underground entrance, but it wasn't anywhere here, so I went to the second igloo where I started destroying carpets, and then I went down, but it turned out there's no zombie villager here, but I collected the chest, then the alchemy table, and finally the cauldron and ran back up. I started killing animals to have better food than burnt kelp, and a slime even pounced on me, which almost killed me. However, I built my way up and went back to killing animals and animals and animals. Once I gathered a stack of food, I decided to head back to base, and then I took the meat downstairs as a souvenir from Animal Island. And then I started smelting the food and put the items away into the chest. I placed a cauldron and an anvil, and then I set off in search of more islands. Yo, what's this? Okay, I see another island and there are mushrooms here, so it's a mushroom island. Except from what I can see, these are custom mushrooms, so it looks really cool. We'll be able to park here nicely in just a moment. It turns out that I found a winter mushroom island. I stepped onto it and saw a ruined Nether portal. But first I had to kill all the mobs that were on this island. And there's another island altogether? What's this? With an outpost. Except it's currently beyond the border. But okay, let's loot this one first. And there are mushrooms here. Plus, we have a chest. We've got a refill. Okay, that's really good. And we have these flint and steels. And from what I see, there's some obsidian here, which we can actually just mine, since I have a diamond pickaxe. I mined almost all the obsidian, but new mobs started spawning. Okay, I'll light it up. Look at all these mobs. There were so many mobs that I quickly escaped to the boat and returned to my island to put away the collected obsidian. And since this island reminded me of a broken portal, we'll add regular obsidian here, and I'll probably swap it for crying obsidian soon. Then I went to sleep and returned to the Winter Mushroom Island. I finished mining all the obsidian and headed to the next island, which unlocked tonight. This massive island just unlocked with these huge towering ice spikes, so it is strictly an ice spikes island. And we also have a pillager outpost right here, so let's go ahead and loot it now. So I went onto it and immediately headed to loot the outpost, where I collected a chest containing the loot. I snatched up the banner and started making my way back home, and while I was at it I remembered to collect the gold block from the Winter Mushroom Island. As soon as I got back to my island, I went downstairs, so I'm changing the obsidian to crying obsidian and adding the banner here as well. I went back upstairs, put the items in the chests, placed a brewing stand and sailed off to find new islands. What's this? Okay, I see something huge. Hey, is that a festive Christmas tree? From what I can see right there? Exactly, because it was a Christmas island, so I built up to it and started looting the chests. There we go. Okay, we've got iron. I didn't expect anything in these chests. A diamond hoe? Not sure what I need that for. Okay, we've got quite a bit of this. We have an upgrader, that's very good. And here we have netherite. Good, good, good. What an opening this is. Really cool. We have a diamond sword with sharpness 3. Okay, nice. We have some really cool items, so I'm super happy about that. Let's collect all these chests. From what I can see, the loot here is consistently similar. 2 netherites, and we have a diamond pickaxe with efficiency 2, okay? And we'll take the rest, let's take this too. Okay, we have 4 netherites, 22 diamonds, and just like that we've looted all the chests. Then I immediately headed to the next island with the snowman and built up to it. Yo, snowman, what's up, buddy? How many snowmen are here? Okay, what does it look like? Overall, I started looking around the island to see if there was anything on it, and I found another abandoned portal, but it didn't have a chest. But before sailing away from here, I wanted to get a snowman into the boat, so I sailed down in it and then headed back to the base. When I got home, I broke the boat and the snowman unfortunately drowned. Without wasting a moment, I went to get another one. I put him in the boat again and went back to my base with him. This time when I got home, I broke some ice and prepared a platform for the boat. I cleared the snow and the snowman floated onto the island, then I broke the boat and our new snowy friend, as I called him, went into our little house. Next, I went downstairs and added a snowball as an item associated with the Snowman Island. After going back up, I crafted a smithing table and a full diamond set. And for that, because I almost forgot, we were also on the island with the Christmas tree. Later, I went upstairs, where I upgraded the diamond armor to netherite and even added a smithing template to the boots and the pants, which made my set look really good. But since I had such good items, I figured I should expand my island and I was missing a port here, so I took some spruce planks and crafted some boats. Then I went outside where I started building a bridge and added a fork and placed the boats here. But I also added some nice decorations like fences and lighting, which made it look even better. And that's how our port looks. I think it looks pretty cool. Next, it was high time to search for more islands, so I sailed on until finally an island with huge trees appeared. I sailed up to it, built up, and okay, we're here and there's a villager village. Whoa, I wonder if the villagers still live here. There are villagers. And there's actually a ton of villagers here. There really are a whole lot of them. And I can see the border right here. Well, the border doesn't seem to affect them, because as you know, if I go past it, I'll start taking damage, so that's cool. I can collect some seeds, so we have our first actual normal food like potatoes or seeds. Without a second thought, I started checking the houses that were here on the island. They were all empty until I found a blacksmith, where I found 4 obsidian apples and an iron sword. And actually, I think we can head back home now, though I'd like to take something from this island, just don't know what. Maybe a potato. Actually, I associate villages with potatoes. I think that... No, wait, I hear a bell ringing. A bell is perfect. Okay, I'm taking this bell with me and we can head back home. Then I started heading home, and when I got back, I immediately went downstairs and put the bell away as an item from the villager island. Next, I set off on another journey, and after a while, yay, there's a new island. Hey, okay, I thought it was the previous one with the tents, but this is a different one and there are bears here. I built my way up and started looking around and I only saw tents with anvils and item frames, but after a moment, look at that, what a campsite. Hey, okay, I really like this, it's super nice. There's even a nice little altar added by the campfire with these little stones, very cool. But as a souvenir, I wanted to take a fish since it was a bear island, so I looked for one in the water, but I didn't see any, so I decided to kill one of the bears, which got me the fish I wanted. Next, I set off on an even longer journey, and after a while I see another island, and okay, this is probably the biggest island. That's why I even saw a Yeti, but it was a fox island, and I found out when I built up and saw a ton of foxes. Zombies and creepers were bothering me a bit, but I saw a mammoth that was absolutely massive. But I decided to build up and check if there's anything inside the Yeti, and there were a lot of mobs that I managed to defeat after a while with the help of a golden apple. Alright, now I think we can head down. I don't know, I feel really weird. There's some chest, okay, very cool. What the? Okay, just let me not die. Hey, okay, I didn't expect that. That was powder snow. Yo, what a total trap. Okay, I wonder if there's anything in the chest. A golden apple, alright. So I basically wasted a golden apple to get one back. Fire resistance. Funny, since there was lava right here. Hey, I didn't see the powder snow because standing here it's invisible. But okay, I didn't expect traps in this place. I carefully climbed back up and continued searching through this structure. Let's just go down this way and see if there's anything. A chest, but I am definitely not going to be fooled by chests anymore. Exactly, and something was connected here and it leads to nothing? And that's it? It's like, it's probably making fun of me, but we have an enchanted apple, so that's very nice. Next, I went to the Yeti's last leg, but I had to defeat some mobs first, and then I headed down. I won't be fooled into thinking there's powder snow here. No, it doesn't look like powder snow. I don't think there's powder snow here. Okay, we have a stack of iron. Hey, okay, actually very cool. Then we have coal. Hey, this looks so sus. This looks so sus. I knew it. I knew it. And it's probably a ton of TNT. Exactly. And I knew it had to be TNT. And it was actually connected to an observer, so it would probably be that if there's some TNT right here now, and I put something into smelt, like a piece of coal, then that TNT immediately activates, so I'm definitely getting out of here right now. I decided to take a feather from this island, because foxes always kill chickens, and then I went to my hut by boat. I put down the fish and the feather, then put away the items, placed a grindstone, cooked some food, and prepared for the Nether, where I wanted to go. I wanted to sail to the island where I found a ruined Nether portal, so I set off for it and swam down randomly and started building it. And I also placed cobblestone to block the water and I started drowning, so I swam up and finally dug into it. Alright, we can officially light it up and see what the Nether looks like. And okay, I spawned on some starting island, but there was a tree here and also a magma island nearby. And is this regular snow or is it powder snow? And honestly, I have no idea, but I'm a bit afraid to test it and okay, sorry, please, stop, please, enough, because I'm freezing. Finally, I fell all the way to bedrock, so I had to break the snow and build back up. I decided to head back home for a bit, crafted some leather and golden boots, and then returned to the Nether. And now, once I put these boots on, I'll be able to walk normally on this powdered snow. And the best part is, if I do this now, I'll start going down and up, so that's super cool. Now then, let's head over to that island. And from what I can see, it's a magma island, but combined with snow and ice. And it looks really cool, honestly. So I'll take some magma as a souvenir. Then I went back onto the powdered snow and started looking for more islands. And there it is, I see something right away. And it's very close too, because they're literally right next to each other. And it's a fortress, I think, or is it a bastion? No, it's a fortress. Look at that. A winter fortress. Hey, it's the first time I've seen something like this. It's really cool. And it's actually built entirely out of ice, so let's build our way up. And from what I see, it's a regular netherrack biome, but mixed with snow. Next, I built my way up and started running around the fortress. It was very pleasant because there was ice here, which made me run faster, and I even found nether warts, which I gathered into my inventory, and there were more right away. I kept running and running like that, and then I saw a ghast. No, okay, I see a ghast right away. Okay, I'll just kill it. Is there anywhere to go? Oh, okay, it's dead. And there's a blaze spawner. Okay, that's great. We finally have a blaze spawner. Now I wonder if they'll spawn. They're spawning normally. Okay, we got the first rod, let's go. Later, I dug under the spawner and kept killing blazes and blazes and blazes until I finally got the 7th rod. I decided to go down, and while I was at it, I picked up one netherrack as a souvenir and continued my journey, but before that, man, I'm curious because magma cubes probably can't walk on this, right? Will they just, fall down to the bottom? Oh, I just found out. What the? Anyway, finally on the expedition and on the way to the other side of the map, I stopped for a moment at the starting island and took a block of crimson wood as a souvenir from that island because it was a crimson forest island. Without wasting a moment, I ran off in search of undiscovered islands and kept running until I found a soul sand island and built my way up to it. And here we have a soul sand island. How many ghasts are there? What the? What's going on here? And okay, what's going on here? Okay, I know this world, that I've spent a lot of time here, but I didn't expect there to suddenly be 30 ghasts. Okay, I'll just grab one soul sand, I'll take a quick look around to see if there's anything here. Okay, I'm gonna die. I'm really about to die. I had to eat a golden apple, I still have an enchanted one, but I didn't expect this. What's going on? Okay, there'll be bones here, for example, a skeleton. Okay, no, I'm just leaving, I'm just getting out of here. Finally, I left that place, and after a while I saw a winter crimson forest island, which I built my way onto and saw an ice bastion. On top of that, a piglin started hitting me, so I put on my golden boots and took some warped wood as a souvenir, and later I built my way higher into the bastion and immediately gathered some gold blocks. Next, I went up the stairs, but a ghast got in my way a bit, which I killed, and I reached 2 chests, and there were even diamond blocks there, which I didn't need. I looted the chest and went all the way to the top, but there was nothing there, and... Actually, that's it. I'll head to the treasury now, because the second one is always the treasury. And oh, it's so good that I clutched on that. I keep forgetting that I don't have feather falling and I just jumped down. Next I went down and headed to the treasury, and there were no piglins at all, so I easily took all the gold blocks, looted the chest, which had pretty okay loot. Then I built myself up and left the bastion. After a while I found a piglin to trade with and started exchanging gold while looking for more until I finally found them. And so I brought them down to this hole, exchanged gold, waiting for pearls, which I even got, but I forgot one thing. No way. Who fell in here? Oh Jesus, okay, that was stupid, that was stupid, that was stupid. That was so stupid. Okay, I'm eating a notch apple. No, okay, how many of them are here, huh? Why did zombies even spawn here? Why is there a regular zombie here? In the end, I kept killing them, but a ton of them were spawning, so it was a bit pointless, but I jumped down, started leading them down, and then I ran until I got enough pearls. Next, I ran to the end of the island and was running around thinking how to jump down without taking damage and started leading them down, but I decided it would be better to jump and clutch with blocks. However, before returning, I wanted to check if there was anything else here, and after a while, I discovered this. Yes, I see something else, and I think it's basalt from what I can tell. And we'll build up in a second and see. And yeah, it's basalt, but mixed with deep slate and some other blocks. It looks incredibly strange and unusual, but it's also in a chilly winter-inspired theme, and as you can see, there are white particles, which contribute significantly more to the overall atmosphere. Of course, I took one basalt and went back to the portal to finally sail to my base. I crafted a few item frames and went downstairs to set them up and put away the last items from the trip. Alright then, so we can add the nether stuff, and this is how it looks. And there's one more block left here, so we'll just add it like this, and that's how our whole room looks. Finally, I slightly improved the look to make it fit better, and then I went upstairs where I crafted an ender pearl and prepared my gear for the dragon fight. I threw a pearl like that which broke, but I followed the pearls until they led me to an island with villagers. A few mobs attacked me, but I finally went down and lit the portal and jumped into it. Alright, from what I can see, the entire far end is also thickly covered in snow, which looks brilliant. What the? Even the entire pillars are made of solid ice. How good does that look? However, as always, I destroyed all the crystals one by one, and at the very end I could kill the dragon and decided to take the egg before heading home. I used a torch, went home to put it away, and set sail to find other islands, but saw no more.